Hi everyone, my name is Nick Besso. I'm a dietitian at Summa, a multidisciplinary practice that specializes in treating eating disorders and sports nutrition in both Montreal and the United States. We often think about eating disorders as these big, bad mental illnesses that we need to get rid of as soon as possible, often making recovery feel really overwhelming and people seeing themselves as either succeeding or failing in recovery. So I wanted to offer today a different perspective and offer the perspective that eating disorders may be actually protective mechanisms that have been put in place for people that have experienced really painful situations or really traumatic events over their lifetime. And I thought I would do this by sharing a brief analogy. So if we think about life as a forest, so we are born in the forest and we experience the forest, and in this forest, there are trees, there are a bunch of wild animals, there are various temperatures, there are different weathers. So, sometimes it rains. Some people may never encounter bears. Some people encounter bears every day at the beginning of their lives. So all of these different things that exist in the forest are kind of representative of people's experiences. So if you were born in this forest and you encountered really scary things and you did not know how to cope, your mind said, okay, this forest is really dangerous. I need to find a way to exist in the forest but feel protected and safe. So then you build yourself a hut. And so the hut is actually the beginning of the disorder. So in this hut, you decorate it as you like. You don't let anyone come in. You have your routine in the hut. So this is kind of your experiences throughout the months and years of your eating disorder. So you end up feeling really, really safe and comfortable in the hut. But eventually you realize that in this hut, while you are very safe, very comfortable, you actually can't experience anything in the forest. So you start feeling very lonely. You might get really ill because you can't access the things you need in the forest. And you realize, okay, yep, this hut has been really safe and protective, but maybe I want something else. And that's when you may seek help for your eating disorder. But the thing is, in recovery, the goal is actually to build capacity, build tolerance, and retrain your brain that the forest is actually a safe space. But you can't just tell yourself that, even if rationally your adult brain or your more developed brain knows that, right? It's the experience. So every time you try stepping out of the hut into the forest, your mind is saying, this place is extremely dangerous. I cannot be here. And there's an urge to run back and seek safety in the hut. So through recovery, the goal is actually to be able to spend a bit more time in the forest, experience various animals, different weather systems, and gather this experience that your brain says, okay, maybe I'm okay here. Maybe I'm safe here. Maybe I don't need my hut anymore. But throughout that process, let's say you spend 4 days in the forest and everything's fine. If all of a sudden there's a thunderstorm, it's dark out, perhaps the reflex is to run back to the hut, shut the door and say, maybe life in the forest actually isn't interesting after all. And I just want to normalize that is absolutely okay. The goal of recovery is actually to open the door the next day, take a step outside and tell yourself, today's a new day and I can try again. So hopefully that helped share a different perspective on your eating disorder and eating disorder recovery. And just remember, your hut isn't all that bad. It was something that you built to protect yourself, and it allowed you to survive in the forest. And maybe now you just want a life outside of that hut and a life in the forest, and that is totally possible, but it doesn't have to be black and white. It's a process to learn to live in the forest and to trust that you do not need your hut to survive. Thanks again for joining us today. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again shortly.